A couple of weeks ago, I had a great conversation with my friend Emilio. Emilio is a personal trainer from New York, and he's also into kettlebells. If you're interested in the full discussion, I'll leave a link to it in the description. When you have a great conversation about kettlebells, in many cases, Pavel Tsatsouline comes up. And we were talking about his most popular kettlebell workout, Simple and Sinister. Now, to make a long story short, this combo made me think about the Turkish Get Up. And I came to the conclusion that I've changed my mind to a certain extent about this exercise. Yes, it's been touted as the one exercise that martial artists do and the one exercise that gives you great shoulder stability, so on and so forth. But since I work with people who never touched weights in their life and who some of them don't even know what a kettlebell is, I've realized that from my own coaching intuition, teaching and doing the Turkish Get Up is not the most bang for their buck. Now in this video, I want to extrapolate a little bit on this topic. And maybe I'm stepping on somebody's toes, but please understand this. The Turkish Get Up is still a cool exercise. And if you want to do it, do it. What I'm presenting you right now is just an opinion, which is backed by a little bit of experience. But hey, before we get started, if you're over 40, 50, or 60 and you're looking for a free kettlebell workout, check the first link in the description. Grüezi miteinander, Gregory von Lebe hier. So let's bust the myth about the Turkish Get Up. You know that many people say that martial artists love this exercise because it grants them results and skills that they need in practice. Now here's what I did, a quick Google search. I checked out Mike Tyson's workout. Come to find out, he never did a Get Up, or at least it's not documented. Then I checked out Gordon Ryan's. He's into BJJ, of course, grappling technique. He does some weightlifting in the gym. Then I checked out Khabib. Come to find out, he's into running. He's into basics. He's not doing fancy stuff. So these martial artists have achieved peak performance in their careers. And it seems like they have never done a Turkish Get Up, and maybe they didn't even touch kettlebells. Now, if we talk about the documented origins of the Get Up, we can trace it back to a guy named Emil Voss. Emil was doing this exercise as a feat of strength and to entertain people. And I think, as far as I can remember, he was placing knives below his body so that if he would trip or if the weight would drop, he would instantly die. Now, just because an exercise looks cool or just because an exercise entertains doesn't mean that it serves great value. Now, again, I'm not saying the Turkish Get Up doesn't add value. I think it's still a cool exercise. But at the end of the day, with this knowledge that I have today, and with this little Google search that I did, and with my experience as a coach, I think there are better alternatives than a Turkish Get Up for people who never touched weights in their life and who are just getting started with their kettlebell journey. Now, like I mentioned, I still do the Turkish Get Up for fun. Recently, I was doing a 44 kg Get Up without preparing for it. I was doing my basic GPP work, some barbells, some kettlebells, some heavy stuff, some lightweight stuff. And come to find out, I was able to pull off a 44 kg Get Up. And what now shoots through my mind was a conversation that I had with an SFG hardstyle practitioner who told me that while he was preparing for the Beast Tamer, these are exercises that you have to do with a very heavy kettlebell, he was using barbells to prepare for it. But if you see that the Get Up gives you value in your training and you like it, and it keeps you active, and it's the reason why you stick with kettlebells, please keep doing it. Don't take this video and now think that I hate the Get Up or that I will never do a Get Up in my life. If we take the exercise apart, we have a couple of exercises that are mixed in the Get Up, which I believe maybe serve you more value if you do them on their own. One of the exercises, for example, is the windmill. So as we reach this bottom position of the Get Up, we are engaging into a kneeling windmill. And the windmill is this exercise. Another exercise that is kind of involved in the Turkish Get Up is a split squat lunge type of exercise. Now, as you step down from here, you are engaging into a curtsy lunge. And as you come up from the bottom position, when you align yourself to stand back up, you are engaging into this split squat stance. So doesn't matter whether you keep the kettlebell racked or overhead or in a sandwich grip. A lunge on its own can still grant you powerful benefits. And this is an exercise that we do on a regular basis. Or if we would look at the split squat, I would argue that maybe even a split squat on its own can grant you more benefits. Finally, the get up involves a press from the floor or overhead. Now, we can press the kettlebell like this, or we can lay on the ground and then press the bell up like this from a floor press. Now, if we take these three exercises apart, we already have the windmill, the press, and the lunge as a solid selection of exercise that make for a great workout. If you do a Turkish get up on a regular basis, it can teach you how to stand up if you trip or if you lay on your back. And I agree, but you don't have to do the exercise in full. You can just have people laying on their back and then let them stand up and find a way that is suitable for them or that works the best for them. Doesn't have to be a weight overhead. And to wrap up this video, and just to make it clear for everybody who's already in the comments saying, Gregory hates the get up, here's what I have to say. At the end of the day, when you work with regular people who never touched weights, who are a little bit older, and who never trained in their life, I have one ultimate goal, and that is to teach them exercises that give them the most bang for the buck for the time that they come in. Most people don't train on a regular basis. And if people make time to show up at the gym and to train, I cannot waste it. I have to give them the biggest return on investment. Most people show up once a week. And if they show up once a week, I have to give them the ultimate tools to prepare them for the rest of the days of the week and to give them as much value as possible. At the end of the day, here's what I believe the Turkish Get Up morphed into. It started as a feat of strength and as an exercise to entertain people, and in the modern times morphed into this dogmatic approach of training that everybody needs and that grants you this unique results just because Steve Maxwell incorporated this exercise in the RKC days when they were forming their curriculum. So if we take the dogmatic approach away, if we take this thinking, this philosophy that there's only one exercise, and just because Pavel said it, or just because this person said it, I have to do it. If we take all that stuff away and we just look at it from a biomechanical reality, I think a squat, a press, a swing, a carry, a deadlift gives you more bang for your buck than a Turkish get up. But like I'm saying, for the 100th time to repeat myself, I know on YouTube we're not supposed to repeat ourselves, but I want to repeat it again. A Turkish get up is still a cool exercise. And if you're having fun and if you enjoy it, then more power to you. Here's the next thing that you have to do. Clean and press that like button, share with a friend who's also interested in kettlebells, and then check out the full conversation that I had with Emilio right here. This was the spark for this video. This experience that I was able to gather culminated in this conversation, and then it slowly changed my thinking to a certain extent. So go check it out. It was an awesome conversation.